Okay, so in this video, I was going to give an update. I know it's been a while since I've given an update or talked about anything, but this past couple of months have been, for me, they have been busy, somewhat hectic, and then I ended up getting sick. So, we'll start with July. From what I do remember in July, so July 4th, we ended up having some friends over. We ate some food, hung out, talked. It was hot outside, so we didn't want to be outside. And then we just hung out and talked for a while. And then that night we ended up having to go pick up a friend who was dealing with some issues and she needed help. So we drove and went and picked up a friend who lived 3, maybe 4 hours away. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know the exact distance or hours. So I had to go get her. So we dealt with that, and then my husband planned a birthday getaway for me and him for my birthday, and it was for me to go to the beach because I've never been to the beach before. And he took me to North Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, and it was my first time being there, and it was a blast. I loved it. And so we went down there on August 7th, and we got down there in the afternoon, checked in to the hotel, and the driving distance from the hotel to the beach was like maybe 5 seconds. It wasn't that far. And then I keep getting notifications popping up on my phone when I'm trying to do a video. And then I go down there Sunday night just to put my toes in the water to see what that's like, and I enjoyed it. It was nice seeing it for the first time. Monday and Tuesday I was in the water pretty much all day long. Like, I didn't want to leave. I enjoyed it that much. It was fun. It was my first time being on the beach and being in the ocean. I loved it that much. My husband told me ahead of time that I needed to put on sunscreen. I didn't think I needed it. I thought that because I would be in water the whole time, mostly submerged in water, that I wouldn't have any chances of getting sunburned. Therefore, I didn't put it on like he said to. I should have, because I ended up severely sunburnt. And I mean, I was sunburnt. I was red. So, I ended up sunburnt. And then Wednesday, when we came back home, I started to not feel good. And I thought maybe it's just my allergies beating me up. I didn't know. And come Thursday and Friday, I started to feel like whatever I was dealing with Wednesday was getting, like, it was stretching out to where it wasn't going away. And I was coughing a lot. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And that Saturday happened to be my actual birthday. And I went to a women's group that morning, and I'm coughing my brains out the whole time. And I'm thinking, why am I coughing my brains out? I told the ladies there that I did a home test. It came out negative. If there's no COVID. I think it's just allergies beating the crap out of me, making me cough my head off. I mean, I coughed so hard that morning, I sounded like I was coughing up a lung. And after women's group that morning, my husband took me to Chinese for lunch. And for a good hour or two, I had a severe headache. And it was getting stronger and stronger. And I'm thinking, why do I have a headache? And I had a really bad headache. But at the timing that I had the headache, I believe the headache was a factor because I was also dealing with that time of the month. So I think the headache was because of that, more than it was from anything else. And the coughing, in my opinion, was just allergies or something. Sunday, I went to church, but I was still coughing. I took a whole bunch of cough drops trying to figure out maybe that would calm my throat down. Drinking lots of water because my throat just felt constantly agitated. Monday and Tuesday, I am up all night, both nights, coughing and I coughed so dang much that I wasn't getting any sleep. And my husband just looked at me, and we both knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep. So I went to the living room couch, and I sat there and just flipped channels while coughing my brains out. And a couple hours later, he comes out there and goes, when 8 a.m. hits, you're calling the doctor. You are going to the doctor. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you are getting this coughing under control. So I called the doctor. They scheduled me in. Now, my actual doctor was not available. I had to see a doctor they had available, which is fine. I just wanted to find out, what's going on? Why am I coughing so much? Why do I feel so lethargic? Why do I feel like all the energy and the strength in my body is literally being sucked out of me? And I'm not sleeping at night, and I have a constant headache at this point. I just felt horrible. And I went to the doctor, told them everything that I had been dealing with, how long I had been dealing with it, how long the symptoms have been going on. I told them I had gone to the beach. It was my first time ever being to the beach. I even told them I had taken 2 of the store-bought Walmart COVID tests that you can take, and both of them say negative. And he goes, okay, I'm going to have you take the PCR version of the test. I took it. And I get the test results back the very next day, and it came out saying negative. He prescribed me coughing medicine to help get it under control, because I'm coughing so dang much that I wasn't sleeping at night. My throat was gone. All that coughing so badly for a week destroyed my throat to the point where I was unable to eat anything that wasn't soft. No chips, no popcorn, nothing with rough edges. Because if I tried, it would get right here, and it felt like it was scraping and scratching a big hole going all the way down, and it literally felt like it was slicing my throat open. And it hurt so bad that so last week, Thursday night, he and I had gone to go see a movie. I don't remember what movie we went to see. I'd have to look that one up. I don't remember. I think it was The Invitation, the vampire movie. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But we went to go see it, and he offered me some of his. He likes to eat popcorn when we go to the movies. That's his snack. And normally, when I go to the movies, I almost always, if I'm wanting to snack on something, I get the nachos and cheese. So I got myself nachos and cheese. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I grabbed. Or something like that. And had some of his popcorn, and I was trying to eat both. The nachos got stuck right here. I coughed and coughed and coughed so hard, I finally got the chip to come out. I pulled it out of my mouth, looked at that, and I said, well, I'm done with chips. I am not, and I don't care if it's a soft kind that melts in your mouth, I'm not eating chips until my throat has healed, because it hurt that bad. I literally thought I was going to have to be rushed to the emergency room, because that's what was going through my head at that point in time while I was sitting in the movie theater. The movie hadn't even started yet. It was just going through trailers of other films. But I was sitting there coughing my head off so hard because that chip was stuck right here, and it literally felt like it was slicing my throat up so badly because it was stuck. and it hurt so bad. Panic was going through my head, and all I kept thinking is, my husband's going to have to rush me to the emergency room, cut open my throat, and pull out this chip, because I'm literally in extreme pain. I'm struggling. I'm panicking. I can't get the chip out. And I'm coughing my brains out so badly, I sound like I have COVID. Finally, after coughing as hard as I possibly could, I forced it up. I pulled it out. I looked at him and said, I'm not eating anything else the rest of this movie. I will drink my drink. That's it. I have cough drops. I will suck on that and see if it will help calm the irritation on my throat down. But from here on out, I refuse to eat anything that isn't soft. If it's not soft, don't even think about offering it to me, because my throat is downright killing me. And he goes, okay. So from that point all the way to the next week, when I went to the doctor's office, I was telling the doctor that. And after the doctor's appointment, I told him, I said, we need to go to Walmart. I ran out of soup. So we went to Walmart. I got more chicken noodle soup. I got instant mashed potatoes and some other stuff that I knew was soft and was quick. And the reason I wanted quick stuff that wouldn't take too long to warm up in the microwave is because whatever I was dealing with at that point in time, seriously did zap all of the energy and strength from my body. I was lucky that I was able to get myself out of bed to use the bathroom and drag myself to the couch to sit there to eat my meals. It took that much out of me. But I forced myself to get up just so I could pee, and forced myself to the couch so I could eat my instant mashed potatoes and to eat my chicken noodle soup. And by the end of that week, I thought, you know what? I wonder if my husband brought me home a vanilla Coke from Quick Trip. It might give me some energy so I can get some chores done around the house, because my house was looking like a mess because I didn't have the energy for over a week to do anything. Well, here's the crazy part. He goes to Quick Trip, brings me home a vanilla Coke, which is my preferred drink right now. I really like those. I took several big gulps of it, waited for a little bit to see if the caffeine in it would give me energy. I kept taking more gulps and more gulps. The first thing I noticed was I can't taste this drink. And I'm like, now the reason why it affected me more with the drink than it did the food is because I wasn't thinking about the way my food tasted. I didn't care. When I was eating the soup and instant mashed potatoes, I wasn't at all thinking about how it tasted. I didn't care. All I cared about was eating it at the timing that I was eating it, because I felt hungry. I only eat when I'm hungry. If I'm not hungry, 99% of the time, I don't eat. I don't eat just to be eating. Unless I have a really strong cravings for, like, I could be like full and not hungry at all, and then all of a sudden I'll be craving severe chocolate so badly I feel like I'm going to go crazy if I don't have it. I'll eat some chocolate to calm the craving down, and once the craving goes away, I stop eating the chocolate because I'm like, I'm not even hungry. So that's the thing. While I was eating the chicken noodle soup I made, and I was eating the instant mashed potatoes those couple of days, I was eating those, but I wasn't paying attention whether or not I could even taste it. I didn't think about it. I didn't care because I wasn't after it for the taste. I was eating it because I was hungry, and I was only feeding my stomach so it would stop growling at me. So I wasn't paying any attention to whether or not I could even taste my food. I wasn't. And I was only paying attention to feeding my stomach and making sure that what I ate was soft and it wouldn't hurt my throat. That's all I cared about. So it wasn't until the end of the week when I actually drank literally about half of the vanilla, 20-ounce vanilla Coke from Quick Trip. I chugged almost half the bottle at that point. Like, okay, let's get the caffeine in my system so that I can get energized and start cleaning my house. After chugging most of half of it, it dawned on me. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't even taste this. And I'm like, why can't I taste this? I'm like, hold up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go check something. So I had some leftover soup in the fridge. I went and warmed up just a little bit of it, took some bites of it, and started eating it. I wasn't hungry, but I was testing something. I ate some, and discovered I couldn't actually taste the soup. And I'm like, I can't even taste my soup. But I never noticed it because I wasn't thinking about it. I was just eating it because I was hungry. I warmed up some of my instant mashed potatoes I had left over in the fridge. Took a bite of it. Couldn't taste it. And I'm like, I can't taste anything I'm eating or drinking. Whoa. And then, like those big bottles that you can get at Walmart that's flavored water that is sugar-free. I like drinking those a lot. I happened to have one that was opened. I took several big drinks of it. Couldn't taste it. And I'm thinking, I can't taste anything that I eat or drink. So I went to my husband, and I'm like, what are the symptoms of COVID again? And he goes, and then he starts listing them off. And I looked them up on my phone so I could follow along with him because he talks fast sometimes. And I'm looking at them over them when he's going over, and I'm like, I have every single symptom that it says on here except for the fever. I don't have a fever, but I have everything else. I can't taste anything I eat or drink. I have no energy. I barely have the strength to get out of bed. Coughing up my lungs, and it feels like I can't breathe sometimes. And I'm like, then why are the tests coming out negative? Now, I've had COVID before. I have. Earlier this year, in fact. I've had COVID before. I went through all the symptoms, fever included, and the fever lasted for 4 hours before I was able to sweat it out. And I'd gone through all of this before, and the test came out positive at that point. But this time around, the test was saying negative. So I was super confused. And I'm just sitting here trying to figure it out, and I'm like, I have all the symptoms but a fever. Like, literally all of them. I can't taste anything I'm eating or drinking. Like, literally nothing. I took a test. It says negative. And I'm just trying to put all the pieces together, and I'm just, like, replaying everything in my head over and over and over. It still wasn't adding up. And I looked at him, and he goes, I don't know. Maybe it's something you caught from the ocean. You probably got something from the ocean water. And I'm like, well, whatever the heck it was, it beat the crap out of me. Jeez. I mean, it beat the crap out of me. The problem was, not only did it beat me up, but it made it to a point where I was dealing with that stuff for 3 weeks. I literally was sick with this stuff for 3 weeks. I couldn't taste anything for 2 weeks. I couldn't taste anything I ate or drank for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of being completely and totally sick, I finally got my energy back. I finally got my strength back. I started cleaning up the house. And I started craving chocolate. And I was in a kind of a grumpy mood. So we went to a gas station, and I got me a chocolate Kit Kat. I bit into it, and I'm like, ugh. Normally, I love Kit Kats. And I looked at my husband, and I'm like, I don't know what that sickness did to me, but I think it changed my taste buds because this thing tastes disgusting. And he looked at me and goes, it's a Kit Kat. And I'm like, then you can finish it, because this thing is disgusting. And I only took 1 bar out of that whole king-size Kit Kat, and I handed him the rest. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my taste buds, but this thing tastes absolutely atrocious to me. And so he finished it, and he's like, huh. I later tried a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, the king size. I cut off a small piece of just one little round thing. Also disgusting. Did not like how it tasted. I did not plan on finishing the rest of that. And he looked at me and I said, I'm not eating it. That's disgusting. And I'm a chocolate lover. I could literally, like, you know those chocolate fountains that you see at Golden Corral or at prom or something like that people like to dip their strawberries in? If I'm craving chocolate that badly, I'm the type of person to go out there, put my face up to it, and just drink the fountain. Drink the chocolate straight from the fountain and just gulp it down. That's how much I love chocolate. I am a chocolate fanatic. If there's a rehab for chocolate lovers, I probably should be in it. I love chocolate. No doubt about it. But the sickness I had for 3 weeks straight did a severe, reverse or something. It did a damage to me. To where my taste buds changed so hardcore on me. I couldn't eat Kit Kats. I couldn't eat Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. It got to the point where they didn't taste the same to me at all. And I still don't want to touch them because I'm like, Like, he'll ask me, and I'm like, oh, nope, you can have it. I'm not touching that thing. If you see me buying one, it ain't for me. It's for the hubby, because he asked me if I happened to bring one home. He did that one time. He's like, did you happen to have any more of those Kit Kats? And when he asked me that one time, I'm like, okay, that tells me he likes those and he wants more. So whenever I go to Walmart and I happen to be grocery shopping, I go down the candy aisle and I will grab the little miniature bar snack size packs. They come like 4 or 6 in them. It's only $1. I grab it, go to checkout. When I come home, I'm going to the groceries. He comes in there to see what I'm doing, and I hand it to him. I said, here you go. That's for you. And he goes, it's for me? I said, yes. I'm not eating that. I'm not touching that thing. That's for you. I am not eating that. And if you don't eat it, it will sit there until you do eat it, because I'm not touching that thing. After what happened the last time I bit into that thing, I'm not touching that thing. It will sit there until you eat it, or it will expire sitting there, and I will eventually throw it away. I am not touching that thing. And he's like, okay. I'm like, not again. Nope. Nope. Thankfully, I did find some chocolate that I can eat. Thankfully, that tastes okay. My taste buds allow me to eat it. And I'm able to eat it. I just gotta figure out where. Oh, it's over here. That I am able to eat it. I put it in a baggie because it makes it easier for me to carry it around. But this is not the package it comes in when I buy it from grocery store. Chocolate covered peanuts from Walmart. It comes in a clear plastic box. But I don't trust the lid from popping open at some point, and they all fall out onto the floor. So I put it in a baggie like this to keep it from turning itself into a 52 pickup situation on the floor. So, and I will lay in the bed playing games on my phone and just eat this right out of the bag when I find myself craving chocolate. When I run out of that, I have this as a backup just in case I run out of those and need chocolate. This is my backup. It doesn't get open until those peanuts run out. This is my backup. I'm able to eat this without any problems, and I can taste it and it's just fine. I don't have any problems with it. So, those are the 2 things I can't eat that my taste buds are allowing me to eat without any issues. So, but so far that's pretty much it. Every now and then I'll make myself chocolate milk. I'm okay with that. My taste buds let me have that. So if I don't have any actual chocolate candy or anything like that in the house and I'm craving chocolate, I'll make myself chocolate milk until I can get to the store and get more. So, but, yeah, like I said, I had a pretty crazy and eventful thing. I was severely sick for about 3 weeks. I say about 2 to 2.5 weeks, but the hubby goes, no, it was 3 weeks because that cough was so bad. I mean, I'm still coughing to this point. And I still cough, but not as bad as it was. It's gotten a whole lot better because I used to cough non-stop, barely breathing in between each session. But now it's to the point where I've noticed, like yesterday, Friday I had a flare-up when I was cleaning something. I was cleaning my kitchen, and I started getting overworked and overheated cleaning the kitchen because I got too hot from cleaning and doing laundry and scrubbing my floors, and I got too overheated, and it caused me to start coughing my brains out. And at that point, that's when I had to stop, take a break, let my body cool down, drink a whole bunch of water to calm my throat down, sucked on a cough drop to calm it down. And once my body calmed down and I was able to just cool off, and then all of that calmed down, I was able to stop coughing so hard that I couldn't breathe. I was finally able to breathe again. So it sounds like an asthma situation, but so I'm being careful with that. But so another update. So my husband and I, we ended up adopting some kittens. The first one, we were on our way home from the movies one night, and this was in July. And on our way home from the movies, about 2 or 3 houses down the street, we were coming home and it was dark. It was after 8 o'clock and it was dark. And my husband stops in the middle of the road. And I'm like, why are you stopping? And he goes, because there's a kitten laying in the middle of the road and I don't want to hit it and it won't move. And I'm like, okay, let me get out and see if I can maybe gently try to shoo it to the side so we don't hit it and it's a stray. I get out of the car. I carefully approach it. I get down on my hands and knees, carefully crawl to it, and I'm like, hi, kitty, kitty, and I'm slowly going towards it. It is such a tiny little bitty kitty. It's tiny. And it doesn't move an inch. I don't see it breathing. And my first thought was, is this cat dead? I carefully scoop it up, get into the car, I sit down, I turn on the light in the car, and I look at this kitten in my lap. And I'm like, I can't tell if it's dead or alive. And right when I said that, it lifted its head, opened its eyes, and looked at me. I'm like, oh, it's alive. Okay, then. And it blinked at me. And I'm like, let's take it home. We finished driving home 3 houses down. We go into the house. I place him on the kitchen counter. I clean off his face because he was a dirty mess. He was a stray cat, and he was a mess. So I cleaned off all the dirt off of his face. I cleaned his eyes and nose and gave him a bath. I just cleaned him up. And once I cleaned up his face, I gave him canned cat food. He inhaled it. He was a hungry kitten. He was skin and bones. He was a skeleton with skin on. And he was so malnourished from not getting enough food as a baby that I could not clearly identify if he was a boy or girl because he was so tiny. And I looked at my husband and said, normally I would tell you if this is a boy or girl, but this kitten is so malnourished that even its own genitals are not fully formed correctly. We have to take it to the vet to find out. Because I can't. It's a skeleton with skin on it. It should not be this skinny. It's, for all I know, it could die tomorrow from not having enough food in it. So we took it to the vet. They checked it out. The vet looks at me and says, this is a boy. I'm like, okay. They gave it some medicine. And I think they gave it a few shots or something. And then I took it home, kept feeding it and feeding it and feeding it, trying to fatten it up. It took about 3 weeks for it to finally gain enough weight for its body to realize, ooh, I'm getting fed enough. And it started to pack on some weight. And once it finally packed on the weight, I finally started seeing differences in it. And one day when I picked him up and carefully laid him in my arms and started gently rubbing his belly, first thing I noticed is he has spots on his belly that makes me think of a cheetah. And I looked at the kitten and I said, are you part cheetah? Because your belly looks like a cheetah. You look like a little cheetah. I will try to do a video showing you his little belly. He's a beautiful little kid. And I happened to glance down at his genitals, and that's when I realized he finally gained enough weight that his body goes, oh, okay, time to finally progress and show ourselves. His genitals came out, the balls appeared. And I'm like, yep, you're a boy. You just didn't have enough weight on you for them to actually show up. They finally did. It just took 3 weeks of him eating enough food for him to gain weight in his body for them to finally come out. And they did. You can now tell he is. But 3 weeks before that, you couldn't, because he was sick. Like I said, he looked like he was near death. But he's a daddy's boy. He follows my husband around everywhere. he finds my husband could be in the middle of a call at working, and all of a sudden the kitten will go up there and start doing this, playing with the cords on his computer. He's like, no, not right now. And then he'll jump up there trying to do this, and he'll sit on the desk trying to play with him. And he's like, come get this kitten. I'm trying to do a call, and he's trying to play. He's a daddy's boy. He loves his daddy. I named him Jax. Jax. And I will try to go get him here in a minute and show you what he looks like. But every now and then when I'm holding him and rubbing his tummy, I'll just gently, I'll be petting and rubbing his belly, and I'm like, this kitten has cheetah in it. And my husband says something, but I don't remember what it is. I think he's agreeing with me that he might have a little bit of a cheetah in him because he's got those spots on his belly. He's such a sweet little kitten. And then for my birthday, I ended up getting to adopt a mixed kitten. She is half calico and half tortoiseshell. And she's darling. I named her Violet. And she's my little girl. She's my kitten. And she's a mama's girl. She follows me everywhere. She loves sitting right here on me. And she is constantly wanting to be right here. Well, today, thankfully, she's been allowing me to get some chores done around the house, and so she's been playing with her brother. So, normally she wants to sit right on top of me and not let me move. But this morning, I'm like, yay, she's giving me a chance to do what I need to do, and she's playing with her brother. So, that was nice. Yeah, those two kittens. You still have Kira. She's a black and white cat. We let her out this morning so she could play, but I told her, keep your collar on so people don't think you're a stray and scoop you up and take you off. I take you off to the pound because you is our kitty. You are our kitty, and that collar has a tag on it that says if you find her, she belongs to us. She's not a stray. So, it's pretty much all there is on updates, and then, you'll see that I'm currently drinking a vanilla Coke right now. It's giving me the energy to do some laundry. I just finished cleaning up my kitchen and picking up my living room. So, but yeah, just going to give an update about some stuff. And I do have a TikTok. I've been uploading random videos of my cats, or my husband ended up getting me a moped. I've been learning how to drive it. And I'll do a different story some other time about when I first got on the bike and stuff like that, but I really have been enjoying it. I will put in the description box my TikTok if you happen to want to check out my videos on there. It's just my cats and pretty much just random videos of my kitties. So that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to go get my kittens so I can make videos of them. So